in a kingdom.
Yes.
That's quite, if I can just jump straight in, quite bold of you to have the word God on the cover, like gone into God. And I guess my first question is, what inspired you to share the material in the book? What inspired you to call it Gone into God?
Yeah. Well, that's a really good question. So for me, it all started as a little boy, and I was raised Christian with a Christian belief, and I just actually finished a German translation, and you know how we call it in German? We translate it a guide to happiness. So for me, it's synonymous. You know, the word God is synonymous for me with the highest love, happiness, bliss energy existing in this universe. So that's how it is for me. I basically just chose the word because for me it's a high frequency word. You know, so one of my theories. Well, it's not really a theory because it's really backed up scientifically with first modern brain science and quantum physics, is that we human beings are beings of frequency, of vibration, and we really create our own frequency with our brain. And one invitation or one realization is to really choose what kind of vibration, what kind of words I move into in my system. And for me personally, with my upbringing, the word God is the highest vibration word existing. But maybe for you it's different. You know, everybody's different. Maybe for you it's Jesus, for you it's Buddha, it's Allah, or if you have a spiritual master, maybe it's the name of your spiritual master. Anyways, it's really about creating a frequency, realizing, you know, we live in frequency, we human beings, and every thought we take into our heart has a vibration. And I really invite people to look into creating the highest frequencies inside, and for me the word God is really very powerful.
And it's hugely loaded. You know, historically we've had, you know, we have all the different religions, and people have their own idea of what God is. So it's and people have killed a lot of people in the name of God, which seems kind of not quite.
It's a little dangerous.
It is.
I know, and it's really dangerous to use the word. I have some exchange on Facebook with people, and it's really for some people a very loaded word. You know, religions have been using it, and we all have our own ideas.
You're talking about a direct experience of what that is to you.
Yeah, only inside. You know, my recommendation is to use the word God only really for inside, and as soon as I realize the meaning inside, I could use it for the outside of my life. Yeah. So it's really important for me to work with it, to fully reap the benefits of these high frequency words. You know, I want to use them inside, and then once I love and more realize the frequency, then I can see, okay, well, there's another God sitting right in front of me.
You explain that really well in the book. I found the distinction between that, like we here we are in our physical bodies, but we're not only a physical body. And I think, you know, you explain that very simply and very well in the book. If it's okay with you, I'd like to just read your first paragraph from chapter 2, quantum physics and what it means for our existence. My invitation in this chapter is to shift your perception and experience in your brain from that of a cold, dangerous universe in which you can be hit by cars, attacked by bears, and left by lovers, to a warm, mystical, magical, wondrous universe which you're part of and feel deeply connected to. And for me, actually, even when I read it, it just really touches me. And that is actually your whole invitation with the book. This is really what this book is about that, you holding out your hand from what you know and where you've been and all that you've gleaned over these years and come into, and offering that to your reader in a very, very simple form.
I like it because it really addresses spiritual people, people with a spiritual interest, to look what is this universe made of, and of course all religious people, because they're also interested in, to realize their belief, like really bring their beliefs into their lives, loving Jesus, loving Buddha, the dream of becoming enlightened. You can use and realize that this universe is basically made out of the same God substance. We are really not really separated, right? We have your quantum physics, you see there's atoms. The atoms are basically 99.99999 empty space, and then we have a little proton, a little electron swinging around. It's tiny, tiny, tiny little particles, and basically the complete universe is made out of these little empty space particles, and they jump around. They are at the same time at different locations. But what it really, really brings down to is that we can feel home in the universe. There's not really a real separation, except the concepts I have since a long time, which I took on from my parents, they took on from their parents, and it's a long way back in human history that we feel separated, we are afraid of each other, survival mechanisms, and they are basically blown up and turn into greed and fear and
dogma and all the different ways that we can feel different and separate from each other. That's beautiful. Can you say what you mean by that? So the whole book title is "Gone into God: The Guide to Your Inner Kingdom," and perhaps you could say what you mean by inner kingdom more than you've said already, and you've said quite a bit. What does that mean for you?
Yeah. So inner kingdom is a place inside where there's basically the paradise on earth, the paradise of being. It's a place inside. You could say locate, it's in my heart, but when I enter it, it's everywhere, basically. So it's a place inside where, if I want to use Bible words, I would say it's where milk and honey is flowing, so for non-religious people, it's a place where there's just warm, tender love and a feeling of being home in this universe, and a connection. There's a sweet connection with people. There's all these heart, mind, beliefs and concepts are in the background. So there might be still there some thoughts, but as I invite people in my book, I can enter, and then using these reflections, I suggest to people, high frequency sentences and words. I even take my mind and my brain into this space, and then everything gets even deeper and stronger, and it's a deep feeling of being home and satisfied. And let's say I like good food, for instance, that's all becoming secondary, where before I was really drawn to getting some delicious food, now I need it. I'm a little needy and greedy for, let's say, chocolate bars or whatever, and now it's just in the background, because that's a little bit an invitation where as soon as I notice some awkward movement inside, I can enter this room. I know it's basically the greediness for food or the wish to fulfill my emptiness with food. It's an invitation to enter this room.
So some people may say that that could be an avoidance of difficult things.
Yeah.
What would you say to that?
Well, life takes care of you, right? You can't avoid. Difficulty will find you, and the shadow inside will invite us to look at it. You know, all these unintegrated patterns we have from our parents, we took on from our society, the self of the world, you know how I call it?
Yes, yeah, that's very clear.
Everything unhappy, unintegrated, fearful, sad, all that will come up inside, you know. The more we even enter God's space, I call it God's space in my book, you know, the space where there's warm, tender love inside, that will kind of bring everything even more up, you know, all these patterns, unintegrated patterns, darkness, the unconscious, the subconscious.
So then they can also be brought into that God space, and that's seems to me that's where the healing happens of all of these very difficult things which all of us have in our psyche and in our history. So then coming into God's space is actually where they get healed, where you get made, you come into wholeness.
For me, it's always also a choice, right? Where do I hang out inside? You know, I have this power inside to create beauty, to enter God's space, and not coming from like a powerful, greedy space, willful place inside, but from a sweet, humble, loving, knowing space that my home has high frequency, you know. And then I can choose, I can see, I have some patterns rolling up, you know, we all know each other for a pretty long time, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. We know ourselves pretty well, and I can see some patterns are rolling in, maybe jealousy, maybe unhappiness, maybe not feeling valued or not feeling loved. We all got these patterns from our ancestors, from our parents, and I know myself, you know, and I see, okay, now this situation, we've been there before, and I can choose. I really can choose inside. It's an invitation to go deeper, to open up, to enter the space I love, and then the feelings will follow, you know, the feelings and the presence and the experience of this God space will follow. It's really so simple, and it's easy to understand. Whatever I put into my brain system will manifest on all levels, physical levels, the nervous system, all the cells in the body. It's all following what I put into my brain. And if I put these deep, high frequency words and reflections, as I call them, into my system, into my brain, and I open my heart and I relax, sinking deeper, breathing deeper. You know, the breathing is super important. As I say in my book, God's space is opening up between two breaths, two thoughts and two actions. So the breathing is super important, right? I give myself permission to relax inside, deeply inhale, enjoy exhaling, and that's a miracle. You know, a shift is happening, and I relax inside, and I generally explain that it's all really simple. God's space is not a big thing. It happens all the time. It's always available. We all know it. We know it from sweet connections. We know it from looking at little babies. We know it from exercising. We know it from sitting down. You know, it's always there. You know, the question is, am I aware? You know, and as I said before, the breathing is miraculous. You know, and we all sink deeper, basically in the presence of beauty. You know, it's very fascinating. I was always very interested in looking what's happening if a young couple falls in love. You know, why do people fall in love with each other? And the interesting thing is that, let's say, men and women, they meet and they talk to each other, they like each other's patterns, and then slowly, with a candlelight dinner, magic is happening. You know, we allow each other to fall in love. You know, that's the magic of falling in love, and once you understand it, you can just go directly to that magic. You know, you don't have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to
sit
talk
in a restaurant with a candlelight dinner.
Exactly. You don't
with
have
someone
to,
of the opposite sex or even the same sex. Yeah.
You don't have to meet for months and months, and then all of a sudden you trust. There's enough trust. Then you can allow yourself to sink down, and you see the beauty of the other, the magic of the other, and just do it right away.
So you said we can actually be in that all the time.
All the time. Yes.
Whether we're with people or not with people or whatever activity we're engaged in. Yeah,
it's inside. There's no other place where it can be, right? This magical, high frequency love. It's always there. It's inside, and we just basically give permission to sink deeper, and we give permission in the presence of beauty, perceived beauty. Let's say a beautiful sunset, or a little baby, or a beautiful woman, or a beautiful man. You know, anything beautiful. We identify the beauty and we give permission inside, and we say, oh yeah, now we can relax. Now we can relax, and we breathe differently, and we trust inside, and we trust outside, and we see the beauty. And so my invitation to people is to use these high frequency words and create beauty inside, you know, just as one way to enter.
Well, realize beauty inside actually as much as create.
Realize, that's beautiful, yes.
One of the things that I just wanted to just briefly look at, so your first chapter is the levels of our human existence, and that's very clear how you map that out. And what I realized, like, in my second time of reading the book, actually what you've done is you've also taken us through those levels in the different chapters. I don't know if that was conscious or just how it unfolded, but you know, you address the physical level, you address the emotional level, relationship, and the physical body, how that all connects in, and of course you have, you know, particular expertise in the realm of diet and exercise, you know, with your business of many years, you in focus, and the importance of and your suggestions of how we can take better care of the body. So it's not just about kind of being like on this spaced out spiritual magical space. It's very practical as well.
Well, that's the interesting thing. First of all, to look at the different levels of our human existence, and to not mix them and try to differentiate, you know, see which level has different laws, you know. So basically the body loves food, good food, healthy food, it thrives with exercise, you know, and these are certain set of laws, and it's really good to obey and to realize them, and then deeper levels have different laws, you know. So there's a really good quote by a famous man who said that the problems can be all, I think Albert Einstein, right? You can only solve the problems on the, you cannot solve them, you cannot solve the problems on the level where they are existing. So we always are invited to go deeper and look from a deeper level, and then clarity might be much easier than we try to fight. In the book I brought the example about dieting. You know, somebody has 50 pounds overweight, and they very desperate because people tell them, you know, you're too fat, you're ugly, and they believe it, and then a horrible yo-yo effect starts. You know, people, they use their will and they're wanting to lose that weight, you know, and they push hard, and it's all on this level.
Because that's all coming from not liking yourself and not liking your situation.
Exactly, yeah. So you fight very hard with yourself, in yourself.
On the same level
exactly,
where the problem exists.
Exactly,
yeah.
Because you still have your cravings, you know, you still want your chocolate bars, but then the other side in your brain tells you no, you cannot, and it's a really bloody, ugly fight. And we invite people to just drop deeper, you know, look from a deeper level. First, look what's really happening, you know. A lot of people use food as a quick fix, you know, instant gratification to not feel ache inside anymore, not feeling unloved and separated from deep love inside. And so they use food as a quick fix. You know, that's the whole Western civilization is working on quick fix. You know, instant gratification. Eat my chocolate bar and I feel much better. And so of course that's a complete endless circle of suffering. Basically, you know, nobody's really happy. You watch TV, then the commercial tells you you need to lose weight, you have to go to the gym, you have to work harder, you have to eat this diet.
You have to buy these products.
You have to buy these products, you know, it's endless. The suffering is really endless. And once you realize, with being honest, you just drop a little deeper into your heart and start to love yourself the way you are as is, you know, and then use what I recommend in the book, you know, open up, shift into God's space, into a place where you love yourself, and there's a high vibration inside, and from there everything looks different. You know, there's clarity, there's love. The weight doesn't really matter. Plus minus 20 pounds, 50 pounds, actually nobody really cares. The universe is loving you, and you love, and you have so much love inside, and then from there, it's a different ballgame. You know, everything is clear. You enjoy, you accept yourself, and then from there, something new can unfold. You know, a new power, a new clarity, and maybe because you love yourself and you have so much energy, you start all of a sudden to work out. You know? And all of a sudden you say, okay, I love these salads all of a sudden, you know, and let's eat some salads, you know, because I know they're really good for me, you know, I really feel light afterwards, you know. I don't have two big hamburgers, you know, and the fries.
Which is not to say that everyone has to have a diet of salad.
No. We recommend that in the book also. I have some good diet tips, you know, and it should be, you can still have your burgers, you know, and it should be in a good balance. You know,
yeah, it's all about balance, isn't it, really? Yeah. And also then you go on to speak about sleep and what will is, and relationship, and being with another. So being in that, how to bring that God space, that awareness into your relationship with another, particularly an intimate relationship, you know, with your spouse or whatever. So could you say something a little more about that?
Yeah. First of all, the realization is it's only all about how you are inside. You know, now looking at the world problems with the COVID, you know, and all that fear, that's manifesting on all levels if I believe in it. And of course it's going to reflect also in the way I relate with other people. You know? So relationship, communication, that's one of the hardest, most difficult area in our human existence, but it has the highest potential for transformation and for love. And but it only starts with us, you know. I love to be in God's space, and from there, from entering sweet love inside, warm, tender acceptance and love inside, all of a sudden I have more patience with my partner, you know. and with my kids, and I see their patterns are basically something I have also inside, you know. And there's a deeper understanding, a deeper empathy, more compassion with each other, you know, more spaciousness I experience inside and I give to other people, you know. So communication is a big topic, right? Communication means that we share what we have together. So, but the togetherness, you know, the quality of sharing always depends on where am I inside.
Right, yes, that place of connection, to be talking from that place of connection, where you know your connection with each other, would create a very different kind of relationship, actually, to what most are used to.
And it can be a battlefield. Relationship can be a battlefield because I have all these expectations, you know, projected on the other, you know, like my parents maybe didn't give me so much love, you know, I didn't give myself so much love, and now the partner is supposed to do it, you know, and then I've been really looking for a dream partner, you know, for a long time, and looking and searching and projecting and trying and being disappointed. So I can write a book about it, you know. I can tell a story about projecting and expectations on other people and then being disappointed, right? Because ultimately all these patterns of wanting, needing, greediness, you know, they all will be disappointed, and the only true relationship is first inside, you know. That's really important, and it's really important to see that all the frustrations and they're really good, you know. I think there's a really nice poem in the book by Rumi, and I think he says the suffering of all lovers, or the frustration of all lovers, is the doorway to God, you know. So the more frustrated I am, there's goodness, you know. I'm frustrated in my relationship, and then I start to go deeper and think out, like, what's happening inside, you know. That's really good. Painful, but good.
Yeah, it's certainly not easy, but for me, what you're offering here is just a helping hand to come into that real compass that we have inside, that can be where we make our choices and our decisions from, how we use our will, how we connect with others. And I think for me, you cover all of this whole spectrum of our human experience in a very simple and easy way. And I think perhaps in closing, would you say something, perhaps you could tell us the relevance of all this for the time that we're in now. Like, there's so many people, and you did touch upon it just a little while ago, so many people, there's so much fear and so much expression in real physical terms of separation, of people not being able to be with each other, with the people that they love, with their families, and being afraid to get close to each other, and not even being able to see the whole face of a stranger, you know. So what relevance does gone into God and your inner kingdom have to what's happening now? How can this help us?
Yeah, it's the virus is fear. You know, the worst virus human beings facing is fear, and this fear has been always in us. You know, survival fear, fear of getting sick, fear of dying, losing the body. That's immanent in our human beingness since forever. You know, since people are thinking, able to think and reflect, people are afraid of dying. You know, that's the biggest fear, and now it's literally in our faces. You know, people need to wear masks and distance from each other, and it's basically the fear is coming into your face, and you see it in each other, and that's the way it is. You know, there's something good about it also, that I get to confront my fear, and I see where fear has me, and yeah, lames my expression, brings me down, and I basically forget God's space. You know, I forget the warm, tender beingness inside. It's really, really our decision, you know, especially in these times, you know, who do we serve? You know, do we serve God's space inside? Do we enter God's space? And no matter what, we love it so much. We love to be happy inside. We love to be like innocent kids, you know, and start every moment anew. You know, that's the most important thing. We love to judge each other. We love to judge other people continuously. That's our school education. You know, we learn to discuss and determine and differentiate the situation around us. You know, continuously judging, and that's a big problem. You know, because we lose our innocence. Yeah? And the innocence is most important. You know, we did not create this life. We did not create this society. We did not create fear voluntarily. We did not create this brain. You know, we find each other with this brain. Now in this moment, up to now, until this moment, we are completely innocent. That's a most important realization.
That's huge. Actually.
That's the most important realization, because we continuously criticize us. We have so many concepts and ideas about us, about other people, judgments and sin and evil. You know, fighting against us inside and outside, and we lose our innocence. You know, childlike, be like a child until this very moment, and then you can enter inside. But you can only be like a child if you are ready to let go everything. You know, any fear, any concept, anything we cling on to. But it's simple. It's not big. It's not a big thing, because we love to be in love inside. You know, it's an awesome reward. You know, it's only true. It's awesome. It's lovely. You know what I mean? It's a loveliness inside. We know it from little babies. You know, we look at a little baby. That's how we start. That's our starter package. And it's still inside. The innocence, it's always there. Really, always there.
So then, with the situation in the world at the moment, and what I understand you to be saying is that what we're seeing is a basic level of fear and survival playing out now, and that actually the way through it is, you know, obviously people need to take whatever care seems good and sensible to them, and
that's a different level.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
That's a physical level.
Yes.
That's a physical. I wear a mask if I go to a store because it's a law, and I don't want to. Anyways, it's a long discussion, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't have to do that discussion. I don't have to. I can see it. You know, I can see the discussion. I can see my old brain trying to analyze and think it's good or bad, and but really, honestly, I love to be happy inside.
Yes, and so this everything that what you're offering here, and what you're sharing with us is really the antidote to the fear virus.
Yes.
This is it. This is the this is the antidote to the fear virus.
Yeah, you're funny. But it's really true. I mean, the whole crisis, the whole COVID-19 crisis, world crisis, it's all about fear. You know, that's the worst virus attacking us human beings. And the only antidote is God's space, you know, entering warm, tender love inside, you know, our home. We love to be in it, we love to be relaxed, we love to breathe deeply. We love to relax, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know.
And so for those interested in this way of being, in this kind of exploration and of coming home to God, coming home to our inner kingdom, they can buy this book on Amazon. They can get it on your website, youinfocus.com. And or what other channels or outlets do you have? Those are the main places. Okay, all right. So yeah, I would absolutely encourage anyone with any interest in what we've been speaking of here to dip into this.
Well, Andrea, thank you so much for taking the time and asking all those questions. And yeah, you're a wonderful being, and I'm very grateful that we did this interview.